Welcome to my Vision News. Saturday's third video for you. Firstly, Somaliland today started expelling Ethiopians and other foreigners who don't have valid documents to stay in Somaliland. Hundreds are being expelled. They are being expelled towards Somaliland, Ethiopia border. We have details for you. Secondly, we have a new story for you about Ethiopian economy. It seems that the ongoing conflict in northern Ethiopia is going to have a devastating impact on Ethiopian economy, and we could see some economic crunch for Ethiopia in coming days. We have details for you. Thirdly, Getachew spoke just a few minutes ago about alleged calculated risk taken by Afwerki and Abiy Ahmed to invade Tigray. Can we say that Ethiopia and Eritrea, their forces are invading Tigray? And lastly, viewers, it is becoming almost impossible for Eritrean government to organize festivals abroad. Yesterday, we shared pictures, videos from Copenhagen, Denmark, where hundreds of Eritrean opposition youth protested in front of a venue where Eritrean government-backed festival was being held. Several dozens were arrested who were released. And today in Oslo, Norway, we have pictures for you. Firstly, viewers, Somaliland is expelling foreigners and affectees are mostly Ethiopians. More than a month ago, Somaliland announced that from next month it will start deporting those foreigners who won't have valid documents to live in Somaliland. And a few hours ago, Somaliland started expelling foreigners. Ethiopians live in large numbers on Ethiopia-Somaliland border. And this border is a very busy border. On daily basis, people travel from Ethiopia to Somaliland, Somaliland to Ethiopia. These people living in Somaliland, doing businesses there, they don't have valid documents to live in Somaliland. They have not been registered. So technically, Somaliland is correct that it is taking action against illegal foreigners. But keeping in view the movement across the border was never tightly controlled. That is why Ethiopians across the border managed to move and they settled in border areas of Somaliland. But today, Somaliland has started expelling Ethiopians. Burama is a place in Somaliland, on Somaliland, Somali region of Ethiopia border, just 2 kilometers away from the border. And from Burama, people are being pushed towards border. Somaliland, Ethiopia border. Somaliland, Somali region of Ethiopia border. Ethiopian government, I think, did not take up this issue with Somaliland. Ethiopian government, which is interested in using Somaliland's Berbera port, which has been in talks with Somaliland's government for the use of Berbera port. And Somaliland government is eager to welcome Ethiopian government for the use of Berbera port. Ethiopian government is relying heavily on Djibouti's ports. So this Berbera port is an opportunity for Somaliland government to increase its revenue. Ethiopia is in a position to talk to Somaliland government about the expelling of Ethiopians, but we have not seen any protest by Ethiopian government to Somaliland government. Maybe due to the war in northern Ethiopia, government is focused on the conflict in the north of Ethiopia, and government's plans to invest in Somaliland will be affected, I think, because Ethiopian government will not be in a position now to invest anything in Somaliland, and reportedly Ethiopia lost its share in Berbera port because it could not keep its promise in terms of investment, and it happened because of Tigray war. And once again, another phase has started. So that is why maybe Somaliland has decided to expel these Ethiopians. And those who are being expelled are mostly Oromos and Amharas too. And there will be Somalis as well from the Somali region. They would also be entering Somaliland. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopian economy is going to go through a hard time in coming days, coming weeks, if the war in northern Ethiopia on Tigray borders continues. Early signs are being seen. Yesterday, Ethiopian federal government asked for donations from all Ethiopians, especially Ethiopian diaspora. An account has been opened, and Ridwan Hussein, other Ethiopian ministers, they are requesting diaspora community and other Ethiopians to deposit, to donate, because the government is facing a crisis in northern Ethiopia. There could be a long war there. And secondly, today Ethiopian PM Abiy chaired a meeting of cabinet, and Ethiopia decided to open up its banking sector for foreign investors. So foreign companies now will be able to invest in Ethiopian banking sector. Ethiopia is in need of foreign investment, and it lost its access to agua at the start of this year, which affected Ethiopian economy a lot. Then this resumption of armed hostilities will also increase the expenses of the government. If government does not receive new loans and grants, obviously Ethiopian economy will suffer a lot. That is why I think in coming days and coming weeks, if this war goes on, you'll see that EU and US will have tremendous leverage, because they are controlling financial institutions like IMF and World Bank, and Ethiopian government is going to be in need of financial aid from EU, US and institutions, financial institutions. So I think that EU and US will have a leverage in coming days, in coming weeks, if this war goes on, in terms of having the leverage to allow or to stop financial aid for Ethiopian government. Last year we saw that Amhara diaspora supported Ethiopian government a lot. But this time Amhara diaspora is disgruntled. Most sections of Amhara diaspora, they are against federal government of Ethiopia, against PM Abiy. They have been campaigning for the removal of Ethiopian PM Abiy. They say that the Ethiopian government of PM Abiy is involved in genocide of Amharas, and they have been protesting abroad against Ethiopian government, PM Abiy. And they try to gain access to US Congress as well. They wanted Congress to condemn Ethiopian government's alleged involvement in genocide of Amhara. So, not lots of donations from Amhara diaspora are expected this time. That is why I am saying that Ethiopian economy could feel a crunch in coming weeks and months if this war in northern Ethiopia goes on. Perhaps the war won't have an impact on Tigray in terms of economy, because Tigray had no economy. Its economy devastated. no businesses, nothing was happening in Tigray. Economic activity was close to zero. But Ethiopian federal government will suffer a lot. It means other regions will suffer. It means those who are suffering because of drought, because of other conflicts, they'll also suffer more. So war should come to an end. Thirdly, was Gata Choreda, Tigray presidential spokesperson, spoke just a few minutes ago, and he claimed that Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean president, and Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia PM, they took a calculated risk to invade Tigray. But last few days developments indicate that this is more risk than calculated. So he seems to be saying that the decision which was taken by Isaias and Abiy to invade Tigray is backfiring. Can we say that Ethiopian and Eritrean government started this third phase of war? We cannot say that. Tigray has been saying for months, for weeks, that if there is no resolution of the dispute regarding Western Tigray, its forces would take Western Tigray militarily. And developments on Kobo-Robit front indicate that Tigray forces launched an attack on southern front. So we cannot say this time that this is invasion of Tigray. Yes, after Kobo-Robit front was opened, then ENDF responded, and now they are trying to attack Tigray from Eritrea on Shararo front. Yes, they are trying to attack Tigray. But you cannot say, you cannot entirely blame Ethiopian government and Eritrean government for the start of this war. Yes, you can say that position of Ethiopian government was not flexible, that is why the war started. But you cannot say that ENDF fired the first shot. That is my understanding of this situation. And Getachew claims that he seems to be claiming that ENDF, EDF are suffering more losses. So that is why it is a risk taken by them, not a calculation. So far, most fronts are volatile, but Tigray has showed its gains. Tigray forces managed to reach Kobo-Robit, confirmed. No doubts. On the other hand, ENDF's gains are only in the form of claims. We have not seen Ethiopian National Defense Force physically in control of some territory which was under TDF control a few weeks ago. So Tigray's advance, Tigray forces advance is visible. But ENDF, EDF's advance toward the areas under TDF control is not visible. We'll have to wait for a few days. Lastly, it is becoming almost impossible for Eritrean government to organize diaspora festivals in Europe. Yesterday, we showed pictures and videos from Copenhagen, Denmark, where hundreds of Eritreans gathered outside a venue where Eritrean government-backed festival was underway. They chanted slogans. Police was deployed in large numbers there, and police arrested several of them, dozens of them. They were later released. And today in Oslo, Norway, once again we're going to see a confrontation between Eritrean opposition and pro-government diaspora groups. You can see some pictures on your screen. You can see hundreds of Eritrean opposition youth who are gathering in Oslo. They are staging a sit-in in Oslo. They're going to move towards the venue where another Eritrean diaspora festival is due to be held, and outside the venue they're planning to stage a sit-in. This resistance against these festivals started from Sweden in July this year. First show of resistance was in Sweden. Then Netherlands, where festival was cancelled by a court. After that, Gießen, Germany, festival venue attacked. Then Switzerland, festival postponed. And after that, Denmark, we saw Copenhagen yesterday, protests, and in Oslo, Norway today. Once again, opposition groups gearing up to protest in front of the venue. It is becoming increasingly difficult for Eritrean government to organize their productive diaspora festivals, which are a source of funding for Eritrean government. Thank you for watching.